Her attempt at escape landed her at the corner of his table, where she nearly collided with a waiter setting something in front of Knox that was suspiciously akin to Chloe's favorite drink, a strawberry daiquiri. Though the drink beverage seemed to confirm her suspicions, she eyed the glass with a touch of misplaced jealousy. It wouldn't surprise her if he had a date. Well-known and filthy rich, up-and-coming politico Knox Hamilton had everything, including his pick of eligible women. Chloe. He drawled her name, adding a seductive syllable or two. You look amazing. Her mouth watered at the sound of his voice. Hi, her voice squeaked, with a less than dexterous reply. He grinned. It's been too long. Have a seat. She eyed the daiquiri. Actually, I have a date. As do you, it seems. His gaze met hers over the deep amber mouth of his beer bottle. I ordered that drink. For you. The words simmered with the husky promise of the bedroom, slipping from his lips with an odd amount of reckless, deliberate ease. Entranced, she caught herself staring at his mouth. He leaned back in his chair, giving her a good long look at the way his torso shaped his neatly buttoned and pressed shirt. Will you join me? He had no right to look so good. She swallowed, getting a full taste of memories she'd sooner forget. My date is one unlucky bastard tonight. That is, of course, if you'll sit. If she was smart, she'd give Knox a view of her amazing legs and phenomenal ass as she teetered out of the bar on those damned stripper heels. But curiosity would make a dead cat out of her yet. She pushed back the logic screaming at her not to risk involvement. A year ago, he'd made it clear the two of them had no future, and she had no interest in being a serial plaything to a confirmed bachelor. And assessed the offered chair. It appeared benign enough, and a reprieve from those shoes would be heaven. Sitting across the table from him didn't have to mean anything, and a free daiquiri made for a good incentive, as far as she was concerned. With his eyes hotly following her every move, she eased into the chair and waited for the dull ache of his rejection to return. But joining Knox at a table made for two didn't fill her with quite the degree of heartbreak she'd expected. Of course, their split hadn't been due to anything unholy. He hadn't philandered, pillaged, or otherwise found himself aligned with the wrong end of a horse. To the contrary, he'd been a perfect everything. Right until the moment he'd left her. Things had gotten too serious between them, he'd said, and he wasn't interested in being tied down. Chloe hadn't exactly been aisle-bound herself, but the dismissal had come as a blow nonetheless. When he'd spoken those words, she had managed to stay on her feet until the door to her apartment had closed behind him. Only afterward had she fallen apart. Once her eyes were no longer swollen to slivers, she'd put all of her efforts into finding a reason to hate him. Wife, girlfriend, a dog he didn't walk. But to no avail. Knox Hamilton was a great guy. He just didn't want her. The best relationship of her life, one with the only man she'd ever loved, had been merely a means for him to scratch an itch. Chloe admitted to no one she'd yet to get over Knox. Still, her refusal to dip a stiletto in the dating pool, ever since, was evidence enough for Lila, who had heard the whole sordid tale over an all-night binge of hiccup-laden sobs. As far as finest moments went,